Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I will be trying out the Intangbo SW Tablet sent by Parblo. It is a tablet for digital drawing which I am excited to try out. So here you can see me unboxing it. It is such a cute purple colour, like a pastel purple, and it comes with all these buttons on it. As you can see here, I'm kind of fascinated by the round one. It comes with an instruction book in Chinese and English. It also comes with an adapter. It comes with some spare nibs. This pen here is also purple, which I think is so adorable. I'm obsessed when things match like this. And then the cable here, which almost looks blue. So with the pen itself, you can actually screw off the lid to put some of the spare nibs in, so you can always have spare nibs with you if you take your tablet traveling, which I think is very cool and very handy. It also has a very satisfying plastic cover that you can peel off, and the surface itself is a matte surface. So after following the instruction book and downloading the relevant drivers, I tried connecting the tablet to my main computer here, as you can see, through Bluetooth. For some reason it didn't want to work, the Bluetooth just would not connect. So instead I connected it with the cable while I was talking to the engineers about why the Bluetooth isn't working. Well, it didn't work either. The buttons worked, as you could see on the screen. They worked initially, but then they stopped working. So after talking to my representative about it, we managed to get it working on my small tablet instead, on Psi 2 instead of Psi 1. There were a couple issues. It was a little difficult to set up, but we did manage to get it working. So yeah, after that I then set up my shortcut buttons on the tablet, as you can see here. The Bluetooth worked immediately, which is great, and this whole setup is honestly great for me, as my laptop here that you can see me using, the touch screen actually lost pressure sensitivity a long time ago, so being able to use this tablet with it means I can still create digitally on the go, because the size of the tablet is like, it's almost a perfect match to my screen itself, which adds to the portability of it. I did continue to run into a couple problems with this tablet, unfortunately. I think it's more some like personal preference things. Having all the shortcut buttons was amazing. As you can see me use in the video, it means I can take the keyboard off of my laptop, which gives me so much more desk space to use. I really love the zoom in on the wheel. That is something I never knew I needed. I'd prefer for the detection on the tablet itself to have a larger range, as you have to have the pen fairly close to the surface of the tablet in order to use the pen buttons. It also means that the lines that I drew could abruptly cut off, or cut off sooner than I realized. It was an adjustment for me anyway, because I haven't used a tablet without a screen in it for quite a while, but once I got around that and I started to adjust to the tablet, it all got a lot better. It did still feel like there was some dissonance at times, like my brain just could not connect with it, so not all the lines were as flowy as they usually are when I draw digitally, but for the most part I'd say it all worked out fairly decently. So you can see the girl I'm drawing here. Well, it's a girl, by the way. I decided to draw this girl that I had designed a little while ago for a video that I never got around to doing. I wanted to revisit her. The idea behind her is that she is supposed to be like inspired by a lime. So you'll see a bit later that she has lime coloured hair basically. For her clothes, I had been meaning to draw something kind of like Y2K inspired, and I don't think it comes across necessarily in what I draw here, but it is still more so than what I would usually draw. It was at this point that I realised the tablet itself did have some grippy things on the bottom, and they just needed the labels peeling off, and I thought that would fix the whole tablet moving around, but I'm not gonna lie, it actually didn't make much of a difference. As you can see here, it's very easy to still move around. Anyway, about the drawing, I really kind of like the aesthetic of Y2K. I didn't at the time, but now looking back on it, I do kind of like it. Maybe it is a little bit of nostalgia, I'm not sure, but I've been wanting to draw something in that style for quite a while, and I still really want to. Like, this did not scratch the itch enough, so maybe I'll do some more either with her or with some other characters. But yeah, I just wanted to try and draw something kind of like it would be from that time. So I gave her this weird like fabric knitted vest crop top, I don't know what it is, and then she's actually wearing some like flared jeans, but it gets cut off at the bottom, so you don't necessarily get to see that. She has like stars all over the bottom of it, which I really am obsessed with, and I want a pair of my own like that. I would love that so much. Because I was kind of struggling with this tablet a bit, I did want to make it easier on myself to a degree. So you can see she doesn't exactly have any facial features, which I love the look of anyway, but it did really help in making something that I really like the look of, because sometimes drawing faces is just so difficult and I did not want to do that. In the original design, she also didn't have a proper face, so it is part of her design. I want her to kind of be a little ambiguous, I guess. I like it, and having her with green hair is just something I really love. Just, it looks really cute on her, and I love how everything turned out, basically. I did struggle a little bit. I felt a little blocked at times. I didn't know how to give it my personal like touch, so yeah, I just messed around with colours, which I think ultimately fixed it, just adding loads of different flares to it. It was interesting. I did my typical style that I do with digital drawings, where I draw the line art in bright red, because for some reason it just makes it easier for me to draw. I think it's because drawing in black makes it feel too final. And then what I like to do at the end is duplicate the line art so that there are 2 layers of it, turn the top one black, turn the bottom one to basically a brown. I just lower the darkness on the red, and then I erase parts of the black area so that the red comes through, and I feel like it gives it the definition it needs, but also softness on certain parts of it, which I really like. I did struggle a little bit when it came to the top, because I wanted it to kind of have like the texture of a knitted piece of clothing, but then I think with the colours I used, it was difficult. I felt because in a bit I will change her skin tone to be just a little bit darker, so the top it blended in too much. I think it looks okay in the end, but there are a couple points where it blends in too much. I think darkening the skin was a great choice. I really like how much I like the contrast more with the other colours that I used, like with the hair and the jeans. Like I said, I did run into the problem with the top maybe being too similar, but I really wanted it to be pink because of the whole Y2K thing. A lot of the clothes from there, or a lot of the aesthetics that you see now, are majority pink, so I kind of wanted to keep some of that, and if the top wasn't pink then she'd literally have no pink on her. I'm also looking back on it, the shadows on the top I think are completely wrong and that does bother me now that I'm looking at it, but just pretend it looks fine, I guess. I just wanted you guys to know that I am aware that the shadows are a bit funky, so yeah, now we're both on the same page. As you saw earlier, I did kind of add these like little sticker things, I guess. I wanted her to have some more interesting things on her, which is why she has a smiley face and a star on her, and I was going to push this more and like put loads more on her, but I honestly couldn't think of what to do. I think if I went back now, I'd probably add some actual limes and some fruit, because then it would maybe make it more clear, because honestly she just looks like a girl. She doesn't look fruit inspired at all, which is fine because it doesn't change that she was inspired by a fruit, but it's just not very clear in her character design. So she might be someone that I come back to and redesign, but I don't know if I do actually want her to be so blatantly a fruit. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do another character who is more fruit and leave her alone, you know. So I wanted to add a background because honestly it was looking kind of plain, and I wanted it to be greens because of the whole lime thing, like I was saying. So I also added a little lime that I wanted it to kind of look like a sort of sticker. I also did a slice of lime that turned out kind of funky because I don't draw fruit, so I don't really know how to do that, but it turned out okay. It's cute. And I think the background really changed a lot for me. I really love it with the background now, so I'm really happy I added that. And I initially was just going to leave it fairly simple, but I did then think, you know, it was too simple, so I went in and added some extra leaves. They're not lime leaves, they're not from a lime tree or anything, they're just random leaves that I thought would look kind of like aesthetically cute. So yeah, that's what I did there. And I really like how she turned out. I think she's something I could do more with, and like I said earlier, I wouldn't mind revisiting and adding some other characters also inspired by fruit. I think it could be really fun. So yeah, this is what she looked like. So I was just watching Prickly Alpaca sculpting these wizard cats, which is so adorable, by the way. You should absolutely go watch her video. But because I've been in such a bird mood lately, and I really love the idea of this, I've been designing or trying to design some birds in a similar style of like wizard birds, or just, you know, magic adjacent birds. So that's what I've doodled here in my little idea book. So what I want to do is try and draw some of these using the Parblo tablet. I've already drawn that girl, the lime girl. So yeah, I'm just going to try and draw some birds on the tablet, and I think it could be fun. I'm just going to do some like fun little simple scribbly things, and maybe figure out some like actual colours and better designs. Yeah, as I mentioned a second ago then, I wanted to draw some birds and elaborate on their designs, inspired by Prickly Alpaca, and I wanted to kind of, yeah, elaborate more on them, perhaps do some actual finished pieces. I won't lie, the tablet was it was getting a little difficult for me to feel inspired using it. There were a couple times where the tablet did its own thing that I'm honestly not sure how it did. As I mentioned earlier, and I showed you the setup for the shortcut on the buttons, there were a couple times when the tablet did its own thing that I really don't know how it did. Like, for example, there's a point where it somehow started opening its own file as if I was like opening a new file to start drawing on, and I don't know how it did that because there is nothing on the shortcut buttons that means it should be able to do that, and I didn't have my keyboard connected, so it's not like I did it accidentally. After charging, there seemed to be some slight lag between the pen and what was actually being drawn. So yeah, I ultimately did not elaborate on the birds as much as I wanted to, just because of these few things that made it just a little bit tricky for me to feel 100% comfortable with the tablet. I did try colouring something in, but I also just didn't like how it was turning out, so I kind of scrapped it. I then went on to doodle just a couple Pokemon, because I've been in a Pokemon mood recently because I've started on my new Pokemon video. I'm obsessed with Hoot Hoot, so I wanted to scribble a couple of those down, and of course a Totodile because I love Totodile. As you can see here, these are the images that I ended up with for the last bit, and I like the idea I'm going with these birds, and I think I will elaborate on them a bit more later, but maybe that will be in my sketchbook. So yeah, this was something I'm glad that I got to try out. It's always good to find new brands for tablets and finding out if they are your kind of thing or not. I'm really glad that I got to test out this one to see how I feel about it. It's not bad, I think it could be a pretty good starter tablet. It's one of those ones where if you are thinking of getting like your first tablet, you know, like do your research and make sure it is everything you want. And the help on their website, the tech representatives are really good, and they got back to me within like a couple days of making an query of messaging them. And also the representative that I've been talking to through emails was really helpful and had like loads of solutions that we went through until we figured out what was wrong and what would work. So that was really great. I don't know. I think it's a very cute tablet. I think it's a really nice portable size, and I think that's all I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm really happy with how Lime Girl turned out. I'm happy that I drew her for this. Again, the birds might visit again later. I don't know. That is it for this video. I want to say a huge thank you to Parblo for letting me try out their tablet. A huge thank you to you guys if you've made it this far in the video. Another huge thank you to my Patreons. Dispe, Megan Palmer, Grimclow, The Waffle of Life, Non-Toxic, Saint Nick's, LP, Kira May, Kay, Joanna, Sir Studalot, Mila, VB, Pretty Rotten, Crescent Frog, Joanna Snake Moon, Humble Frogs, Local Fishkeeper, Mould Ghoul, Art Mancy, Farrar Ware, Sun Arts, Molly Marula, Hannah Anderson, Sammy Bear 127, Kenzania, Jades, Arrow, Charlie, Malorus, Ghosty, Jess H30, Cindy King, Vlada, Art by Lavender, A Woodsy, Rainbow Tea, Breaded Nuggets, Dumb Teen, Neva Thorpe, Ivy, Lindsay Perkins, Humani, The Moth Bug, Knox, and Crime Against God. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I will hopefully have another video out soon.